What's up, you guys? We are here for November 15th injury show. We got a pretty big. I'm with Gary Hartman. How you doing, Gary? Sorry, I kind of had a terrible introduction.
Nah, man, you don't
I
need
was
an
like,
intro. We got 11 games.
yeah,
We could dive right in. I'm doing great though. I'm doing
yeah,
great.
for sure. Yeah, here's the schedule for today, you guys. You have a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, my weekend was
Yeah,
good. No
yeah,
complaints. Solid football day yesterday. Trying to keep the
nice.
DFS streak hot. So just feeling good. Feeling good
I
overall.
need like 20 out of Odell tonight for my
Yeah.
main league. Don't
I
think I'm gonna
mean,
get it.
who knows? They might try to force feed him the ball a little bit.
Right? Let's do
Yeah.
it. All right, yeah. So we got a couple returns here. We're gonna kind of break the sentence we usually do with the big guys. The big game for injuries is gonna be this late hammer for the Toronto Portland game. We
Yep.
don't have the Blazers injury report yet. Again, back to backs. That's troublesome for Nurk. Just a couple back to back, couple games ago, a couple back to backs ago. Billups pulled Nurk for being tired in a back to back, so just keep that in mind. But obviously, Dame's the headline here. Has the abdominal issue with something that was kind of lingering. So I would think it would be back to back related why he didn't play. So I think he's got a pretty good shot to play. Obviously, if he doesn't, we saw Anthony Simon start. They got waxed. CJ McCollum's minutes were down because they got whacked, which is a good thing if he doesn't play. And then Rocco lost minutes to Nazir Little, who's playing really well. Normal play a little bit more too, a little bit more increased usage. But just on the Blazers side of this, and I don't think we get anything else that's surprising on a back-to-back just because they got waxed last night. But what do you make?
Yeah.
Anything you want to add on the Blazers side?
No. I think, we'll see if he does miss, we'll just see more of what we saw, the other night. I think the most surprising thing to me was when Little got the extended run. He really made the most of it. I think he saw himself in the perfect GPP lineup a couple nights ago, whenever that was. So he'll probably be in play as a value guy again. And then obviously CJ and Simons are going to be up there as well.
Yeah, Billups talked, and this is before last night, even before the Dame stuff. He talked up Little hardcore,
Yeah.
and it kind of caused us to boost his projection because the coach speak just stood out so much to me.
Yep.
So they've got some options. Yeah, just on the Raptors side, mostly minor. We did find out Chris Boucher said he's not going to play after he hurt his back. He actually hurt it twice, according to Nick Nurse in the last game. So we'll see what's up with Fred VanVleet. Got groin soreness. Did sit in a back-to-back in the last one, so probably has a decent chance to play here. We also have Precious Achua with a shoulder injury. Sounds pretty minor, but doesn't really matter because he's not really in play. Anything, and we obviously saw Dragic start in the last game, which was kind of surprising. But anything else you want to add on the Raptors?
No, not really. I mean, I just gave a pass at taking out. We only had Boucher for 9 minutes, so I just took him out. I think with Siakam back and off any minutes limit, it's kind of taken most of those guys out of play that aren't the Siakam OG Barnes guys. We'll see. I think I have Birch right now for like 22 without Boucher. I mean, he'll probably be somewhere around there. But I mean, biggest takeaway for me again there was Siakam looked really, really good the other day. I mean, happy to see him. I mean, I want to see him back to a couple of years ago for him. And if he's going to, not have any other bigs in his way, I mean, Pascal.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm curious is because Nurse has kind of left the door open that they start big with Birch.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, who gets booted? Like, would they dare run no point guard? Like, we saw that point Pascal stuff for a little bit last year. Nurse has talked about wanting to run that lineup out there a little bit. Like, I wouldn't be totally shocked if they just go Galaxy Brain and go jumbo.
It's certainly possible because obviously Barnes can handle the ball too. So if you really wanted to do that, you can definitely get away with it. A lot of that'll depend on FEV status tonight, though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like if he doesn't play.
Yeah, and if they really want to go big, you start Banton at point guard, and you could just go mega large.
Yeah. I think they like him off the bench, but I legit think they could really start. The backcourt being OG and Gary Trent, although that's perimeter defense. Sure. And then Barnes and Siakam down low with Birch on Merrick. It's gonna be fun.
Yep. And Trent here continues to play super well. Revenge game. I mean, you get into it on the DFS show, but he's been one of the most consistent fantasy assets of the year, Gary Trent. He really has been. So
I think he's second in steals or something.
Yeah, and
he's been great for season long too.
And DFS too, just consistently like mid to high 30s, like every night almost. So
Nurse plays him a ton.
Yeah, he'll play him a ton of minutes. So yeah, I mean that's going to be definitely the game to watch out, both because it's already a good DFS environment, but let's see who misses there because it's going to become a spot.
Yeah, fun matchup stat. So the Raptors are first in the NBA in offensive rebounding percentage, first in the NBA in last in half court possessions. But the Blazers are first in limiting offensive rebounds and first in maximizing half court possession. So it's very much of a clash of styles, offense, defense. I love when the number ones face each other in matchup
for
columns.
sure.
That's always it's like my little thing that gets me excited.
It's like who will win out.
Okay, so what's up?
It's like who will win out. Like which style's
right.
gonna win out. Yep,
I
exactly.
think the Raptors will for sure.
Yeah.
The other big questionable, which we kind of have some information on, is Jimmy Butler regarding how it's going to be handled if he doesn't play. Sprained his ankle a few games ago, did return initially, and then has been out since. Back to back, probably a factor for the first game. They're playing the Thunder here on the road. I think it was if it was against anybody else, he'd have a pretty good chance to play, but probably a decent shot that Jimmy sits this one out. What do you think of on that? And then anything else?
Yeah. I'm thinking they're going to take it easy with him. He's missed the last two. We saw that they kind of just ran their starters really, really heavy, even with like Bam, who I think was questionable in the last game. They ran them all like 34 minutes plus, and I think PJ played 33, where Strus was the top guy off the bench at 22. I would expect we'd see more of the same with like the Caleb and Gabe Vincent guys coming in the mid-teens.
Yeah, should be. I mean, if Jimmy doesn't play, my God, Bam is going to slaughter this team.
Yeah, big time.
They're going to play small. They don't have favors. Actually, the Thunder have been good at defending perimeter guys. Like they actually have the number one pick and roll handler defense right now. So it's just going to be Bam fest, man. Like Bam might drop like 70 tonight. If Jimmy doesn't go.
Bam would be. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll get some more information before. I mean, that's obviously one of the later-ish games, but Bam, it's till 8 o'clock. There's only 2 10 o'clock. So yeah, I mean, if we get something before the DFS show, I wouldn't be surprised if Bam's appearing on the flag plants of it all.
Yeah, he definitely is up for a plant.
Yeah.
Let's just go to Phoenix really quick. We just found out just before we came on that DeAndre Ayton is questionable. This is a surprise to me. He was only in sweats yesterday at shoot around. I don't think he's playing. Maybe he does, but against Cat, I think I would expect one more JaVale McGee game, who played great yesterday. So again, it's kind of straightforward. We've seen McGee finally had his smash game last night. I've been waiting for like the big McGee game, but against Cat, definitely going to see probably a good amount of McGee there.
Yeah, I think they would try to get his maximum McGee minutes. Obviously, trying to keep him out of foul trouble, but a better matchup for Cat than Kaminsky. That's for sure.
And then I was partly right on Houston. We found out Eric Gordon is questionable. I think he sit in the back-to-back. There was a questionable on his Twitter that's someone I follow had caught about Silas, so that'll be fun. But I wanted to see some Daniel Tice getting benched for Alfred Şengün, who I think is going to start soon because Christian Wood's been destroying. I think he's 25 per 36 when he's next to Şengün and just 12 when he's next to Tice. So it seems like a pretty obvious move that's coming there, but. If Gordon doesn't play, probably expecting more House, a little bit more Josh Christopher and Nwaba. Silas had a comment that they basically have four guys for their last 2 spots, being Christopher or Armani Brooks, kind of gunning for those last spots occupied by Nwaba, House, kind of. KJ Martin also kind of on the fringe there too. So but it would have a lot of upside for Porter Jr. and Jalen Green not having to share the ball a little bit with Gordon if he sits. And I think he does. Yeah,
I mean, it would open up a lot of minutes. 27 minutes that we have him projected for right now. That opens up a ton. I mean, KJ Martin would probably get up there, a little more than his 14 right now. And then all those guys, as you said, Tate, Porter, and Green, upsides are significantly, improved.
Yeah, against the worst defense in the NBA. The Grizzlies have been just so bad.
Yeah, I mean, Wood's in a great spot tonight too.
Yeah, huge spot for him.
Yep.
Other small ones, so just the smaller stuff. We got Jalen Suggs question. We went through shoot around, so I think he's going to play. I don't think that ankle sprain looked pretty bad, so I expect him to go. I guess we could just move along. And pretty good matchup against the Hawks who are struggling. Played a little bit better there. Moving to who else we got? Chris Duarte, similar. Sprained his ankle, returned. He's young, well, sort of, for an old rookie, but kind of expecting him to play. A comment from Rick Carlisle saying that they kind of liked Holiday off the bench. We saw Holiday kind of smash in the last game. So they might keep him there off the bench and maybe try something different. But anything you want to add on those two things?
No, Justin Holiday is just one of the most frustrating DFS assets all the time. He'll have 1 or 2 of those types of game a year, and then he'll still project well. And I mean, I think Duarte is going to go. So. We could probably just move it along.
I mentioned Favors resting. Darius Bazley also questionable. So, I mean, I think they might start. They probably have to still start JRE at center, but they'd be pretty thin. I don't think they would go to. I mean, they might go to Poku there. Poku has not played well at all. Oh. So, I mean, I guess they could go Robinson, or I'm sorry, Isaiah Roby, and then Robinson Earl together, and then have Muscala off the bench.
Yeah.
I believe Roby. So that makes sense. Roby's been completely off the radar, so it's something to watch.
Yeah, I was right before we went on. I was taking out Favors 15 minutes that we had him, and I have no idea how to spread those around, especially with Paisley question. I mean, they could do a ton of different things. They could just go, as you said, also they could just go pretty small as well tonight. So
I think they want to play Poku. I mean, it's such a bad spot against Miami
for sure.
But they're going
how high do you think JRE can get in this matchup? Like they're going to need it. You'd imagine they're going to try to have his athleticism a little bit against Bam and them.
I mean, without Favors, I think he can get up there. So I mean, probably like the high end would probably be like what 27, 28.
Yeah. I had him at like 23 and a half.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Moving on to Bogdan. Kind of the standard here, back to back. Definitely think there's a decent chance he sits. We know that DeAndre Hunter's out to put Kevin Huerter in a smash spot pretty much here minutes wise. Maybe we see a little bit more of Solo Hill. Again, they get the Magic, so they're probably going to want to go a little bit bigger overall. And then we saw also John Collins play some center minutes again, kind of 2 of the last 3 games next to Gallo. McMillan has talked about liking that. But what would anybody else you'd be looking at besides Huerter, with maybe a little bit more Reddish, who got dinged up a little bit too?
I would think Reddish would get a little boost here if no Bogdan. I mean, we've been kind of consistently having him in those low to mid 20s minutes at max, and he's having a pretty good year, so we'd like to see him kind of get up there a little bit more. And then I think Lou Will could get a little bit more run, but I think, as you said, I think it would probably hit the 3 through 5 guys the most. I think they'd go a little bigger.
Yeah, you probably get DeLon in the mix, and then Lou, but you're not going to really play those. Trey, man, great game from him last night. 23 drives per game in his last 2 games. Trey's been really aggressive. Love to see it. Moving to just a couple other ones. Naz Reed is questionable with a foot injury. That's interesting because they don't have really any other centers. They'd probably play Vanderbilt, and then they'd also be really running up Cat's minutes against a team that they really have to feed Cat against in the Suns. So I really like Cat today. But yeah, Naz Reed would put Vanderbilt at the center spot, which would kind of solidify Jaden McDaniels' minutes, I would say, assuming he doesn't foul, which is an assumption you can never make. But it's interesting without Naz, and they were running a lot of that double big stuff too, so that would help Vanderbilt maybe get some other combo minutes, just as kind of a dart throw. I don't want to bet Vanderbilt's unders today, put it that way.
No. I think if Naz sits and Ayton sits, like we're expecting Ayton to sit, I mean, Cat is set up so well.
Oh my God.
I mean, and especially let's keep it injury focused from a minutes perspective, barring foul trouble, we're getting, if they keep this game close, which they're at home, I'd imagine they will, we're getting like close to ceiling minutes from Cat, I think, in this spot if both those guys are out. So
yeah, coming off a 15.4 usage rate, the second time in the last 4 years he's been below 16. Just crazy. Yeah. Mad props to the Clippers for shutting him down. We mentioned the Rockets already. Nerlens, whatever. I mean, I don't think we can even talk about it.
Man, we've seen it all year.
I think the headline for me just with the Knicks, this isn't injury related, but man, those starters are on a short leash. 119 defensive rating. Yeah, it's been rough, man.
Really short. Yeah, I mean, they've had a couple nights off now here. And I'm just hoping that they kind of took it to regroup, get their crap together, and I want to see those starters, at least the RJ Julius Fournier of it all kind of be themselves. And, hopefully they could do it tonight. Not going to any Knicks games this week, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Not going to bury the lead here. We are, but might be Bones night. This is kind of not a new out. There we got more Bones. Yeah. A funny story.
Everyone
for me.
Wants Bones.
Yes. So my dog has Bones, right, as like treats, and I yell Bones all the time now, and he's always like, where the Bones at? Because he wants a treat. But nope. Not only treats for me this time with Bones. So it's on, right? How much Bones is too much Bones?
Never. No amount too much Bones. Bones is great. SNL did a Bone Thugs in Harmony Bones dog Bones sketch this weekend. I was laughing because all I was thinking about was Bones and more Bones.
So good.
I mean, with Barton's out, it looks like Bones.
He's doubtful,
and Malone, Bones is in the good graces right now. And Bones, both the upside, the Bones upside is legit right now. I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of uses to go around. Definitely into Bones.
Yeah, I have him on my dynasty team. I couldn't be more pumped about that. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, he's so good. How does Denver get every good draft pick?
I know they're good. It's a good front office, man.
Yeah, right. I mean, how do you for that to get him that late? It's so obvious he's a steal.
It's crazy. It really is crazy.
But yeah, we're very high on Bones. Jokic should have a ton of touches tonight, so definitely into that one.
Yeah.
A couple returns. We got Kobe White back
Yeah.
after his shoulder injury, so we'll see. We have minutes pretty low right now. We did see the Bulls go small with Alex Caruso and then DeMar at the 4. Probably expecting that again to limit Russell Westbrook. And the Lakers are going to go small too with AD at the 5 as well. But yeah, we kind of took minutes away from just kind of everybody, like a little bit from Javante, a little bit from Alice Johnson, who didn't play last night. They're more likely to kind of go small now that they have those options there. Derek Jones Jr., obviously, Ayo would be the guy who loses the most amount of playing time from that. Yep. But I wouldn't say Kobe's in play. Kind of like a pickup if you want to go deep.
Yeah.
But anything you want to add there?
No, he's not in play yet, but I do think, for this team, him getting him back is going to be really good for their bench. Like if they're playing all these fringe guys. I mean, I like Ayo quite a bit as a prospect, but these guys, Javante and Ayo and Derek Jones Jr. and Alize that have been in the rotation. Like I think less of those guys is more for them. And I think they're going to use Kobe. They're going to, be able to use Kobe scoring off the bench. So I think just in general, long-term outlook, this is solid for them. Even though I'm not the biggest Kobe White fan, but I think for what they need off the bench, it's good.
Yeah. So not as much upside on Caruso in a revenge game too, which is something we got to think about. And just some quick returns. It's a rematch, but we've got J Rich back. So he'll be probably. Do you think just the J Rich side? Who do you think would kind of get cut down? I'll just bring up this box score real quick.
Yeah, let me see the box score from Saturday. I mean, that game was crazy. Cleveland came back and won it.
Yeah, man. Was it 21-point deficit or something?
Yeah. Right. So I mean, Jabari Parker came in for 14 minutes. I think we had bumped him into the rotation a little bit, but I don't think we had him for that high. So I think obviously he'd come down quite a bit. And Pritchard as well would come down. I think those two would be the biggest. And then Langford obviously wouldn't be getting up to close to 30s. He'd be in the more towards the high teens, low 20s. And then Neesmith, same thing, right around that was a lot. I don't think he would change too much from that type of thing. So Parker and Langford, Pritchard would be big, the biggest impact, and Grant too, probably, right? Yeah,
Grant will go away because this guy's back.
Yeah,
Mr. Chocolate Milk.
Milk,
he's
baby.
Back in the mix. Yeah, so Evan Mobley, he's gonna have to probably deal with some Horford.
Yeah.
Claff and I were talking, and Dink and a few other guys. We were talking about his 3-point prop, Mobley, who's been shooting more threes too. So. Should be a fun game. Really low scoring projection. The Cavs are really slow. I think it's projected like barely 200.
It's like sub 200 right now, like right under 200. Plus, it's like the earliest lock. So, definitely certain things to consider. When you're looking at that game. But I mean, really impressed by what the Cavs are doing, and we'll see if they can keep it going with Horford and Richardson back tonight. Mobley was on Tatum and did a really good job the other day.
Did a really good job. Big usage rate, season high usage rate for Tatum too. So see if you can get going there. All right, so we're out of here on that. You guys definitely come back later. Make sure you're subscribing, and then you're going to be on with Wiggins later. I might pop in.
Yeah, you're popping in.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I
gotta hit a pod today.
All right.
We'll see. So make sure you guys are subscribing. Check us out. We've got the props going, all that good stuff. And we will catch you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, take care.